I had some questions emailed in about the practice problems for exam 2. The first one was about long response question 1 using news headlines from last week. That's what I wanted to do. Identify 2 social dilemmas that have been reported, and we want to talk through the social dilemma and the examples. First, we go to the definition of social dilemma: situation in which actions taken independently by individuals in pursuit of their own private objectives result in an outcome which is inferior to some other feasible outcome that could have occurred if people had acted together rather than as individuals. And the most common social dilemma is one where there's some externality, there's some market activity that's resulting in sometimes benefits on people outside the market, sometimes costs. I've got 2 examples of negative externalities: costs that fall on people outside the market, and if those costs had been considered, the people would have come up with a different set of actions. So the first article that I had just out of Monday's paper is an article on bike sharing in Washington, D.C. The activity that causes the social dilemma is not so much biking as it is the driving of cars. When people choose to drive cars, they're thinking about their own convenience, the cost of gas, the cost of keeping up the car, but they're not thinking about, or they're not thinking enough perhaps about the pollution costs of cars, the danger to other cars and to bikers and pedestrians when more cars are on the road. They're not thinking about traffic, road congestion. They're not thinking about the huge amount of earth surface that needs to be paved when everybody's driving. And often they're not thinking about the health benefits that would come from biking, say, an alternative that produces no emissions, much less congestion, much less risk of harm to others. And so, again, the example of the social dilemma is the cars that create so many costs outside those paid by car users, because those pollution and congestion and other costs aren't considered. There's too much car travel. And then another example comes from the High Country News. This publication focuses on news west of the Rockies, more on agricultural and environmental news than on urban issues. Although urban issues, like land use and such questions do get covered there. Anyway, this article talks about efforts to mitigate activity that has social dilemmas, in particular ranching, when farmers pull water out of the rivers and creeks in order to irrigate their hayfields or pastures, or what happens is there's less water in the stream for fish habitat. Also, cattle in particular going in and out of the stream just erode the banks like crazy, and so that erodes habitats as well. So the social dilemma is that harm to other, in particular natural, environmental amenities that results without due consideration as farmers grow their crops. So there's a lot of programs that are meant to mitigate that. This article talks about one such.